All right, guys. Hey, sorry about that. If you've been here standing by for about 20 minutes here, I just realized from about 4 different messages on my phone that there was no sound. Don't you love technology? So let me actually go before I get into this Hangout. Let me actually make sure that there is sound before we actually get started here. So give me just a second, guys. Standing by for about 20 minutes here, I just realized from about 4 different messages on my phone that there was no sound. Don't you love technology? So let me actually go before I get into this Hangout. Let me actually make sure that there is sound before we actually get started. Just a second, guys. All right. Exciting stuff. There is actually sound this time around. So you are here today to learn how we're going to teach you how to earn between $400 and $3,298 this week online, and that's what this whole Hangout is about. That's why you're here, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. Before we actually get started here, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself because some of you guys here may not know who I am. My name is Angela Moore. I'm the co-founder of the Freedom Fighters Network. My incredible boyfriend, Jordan Schultz, is the other co-founder, and unfortunately, he's actually not here today. I'm flying solo for the reason that yesterday he actually threw his back out. We went to go Halloween shopping to go out for last night, and in between that, we went to go play Frisbee, and during that time, he threw his back out, and he's actually laid up in bed in our bedroom next door here. We're gonna go to the chiropractor as soon as this Hangout is done to get him sorted out. So if you haven't met Jordan yet, you'll have to definitely come on another Hangout because he's absolutely incredible. That being said, we do have some really exciting things to cover today. Like I said, you're here because you want to learn how to earn between $400 and $3,298 this week online. We're going to get into that, but first, before we do, really what I want to do is actually, first of all, I'll introduce myself, tell you a little bit about me in case you don't know already, and then really tell you how we got to this point of showing you how to earn this amount of money online, because the bottom line is this: over the course of the past 3 months, Jordan and I together have literally helped tens of thousands of people to earn their first dollar online. And it didn't matter, if people were struggling before. It didn't matter if they didn't have any experience. We have people here from all walks of life that are succeeding with or without marketing experience, with or without a marketing budget, some of them, and with or without really any kind of knowledge of the industry. There's so many people that we've literally brought through a really simple process I'm going to introduce you to here today that has helped them to earn their first money online, which is really exciting. I'm super excited and super stoked for really what we're going to be unveiling here over the course of the next few days, because over the course of the past 3 months, we've helped people to earn their first money online. Over the course of the next 3 months, we're going to help a lot of people to not only make their first money online, but to quit their job, to stay home with their family, to be able to live that lifestyle. You see the lifestyle things all over the internet, people that have this amazing life. They get to travel all the time, they get to not work a job, and you wonder how they do it. Well, I'm going to show you actually, since Jordan's over there. I'm going to show you today how to actually achieve that, all right? It really is a pretty simple process. But the bottom line is that it's laid out typically in a very confusing way. When I first got started in this industry, to tell you a little bit about me, I struggled for my first 4.5 years. I mean, really struggled. Like, I was trying hard. Some people say they struggle in this industry and really they join something and then they sit on their butt and do nothing and then they're like, this thing doesn't work. No, I was actually investing money every single month in, month out. 4.5 years of literally downright failure and struggle. I went $45,000 into debt before finally figuring things out. And when I finally figured things out, something even more peculiar than that happened. See, when it took me so long to figure things out, I was in the mentality of thinking, I'm just slow. It's just me And, once I figure this out, I'm going to be able to help a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to succeed because I'm able to help them. And in every other thing that I was in, and Jordan too, he'll tell you his story, another time over the course of the next few days when he's feeling a little bit better. He and I together have brought in, well over 1,000 people personally into this industry. And what we've come to find out is, it wasn't just me that struggled. It wasn't just Jordan that struggled in the beginning. It's literally everyone that struggles in the beginning. And I can tell you, out of literally, 12, 13, 1,400 people that he and I have brought into this industry before the Freedom Fighters Network, before the system that we're going to introduce you to here today, before this, all right, we literally brought in, over 1,000 people. And of those people, there were literally like less than a handful of people succeeding. Like less than 5, that is, right? So there's a big discrepancy in this industry. There's sales videos out there that promise you the moon. They'll tell you, just get started and then you'll make money. And then what do? You get started and here's the owner's manual. Go watch 15 hours of training and, go through, 15 hangouts and go through all this different stuff and learn how to do advanced marketing, learn how to write the correct headline, learn how to build a lead capture page, learn how to get the right conversion numbers, learn paid marketing, learn all these different things, and then just maybe you might start making money, right? This has been the problem in the industry, and the bottom line was this, Jordan and I, going back about 3 months ago, we basically said, enough is enough. We're sick of this. We're sick of bringing people into something where they literally have like such a small chance of succeeding that we were starting to feel guilty about bringing them into something wherein we didn't really honestly feel that they could succeed. The other thing was this, mine and his traffic, we actually did 2 different traffic sources last year, and both of our traffic turned off and we couldn't get it converting with the last thing, right? So when we initially launched the Freedom Fighters Network, our initial goal was to just create something that was converting on the front end. I knew how to get people upsold. I knew how to get people upsold in large groups. And so if my team members were actually sponsoring people, I was able to help them get their people upgraded. But the problem is that they weren't getting people in the front door because there wasn't a process that they could actually just market. They could actually just, send traffic and then people would come in the front door and then I could upsell them. There wasn't that process in place. And so basically there was just this major gap. And 3 months ago, Jordan and I got together and we set out to basically fill that gap. What we wanted to do was provide a simple, streamlined process for the average person to come in and start making money, whether they knew anything about marketing or not, right? And the only way to do that, guys, this is what we came up with. We were actually in Bali when we created our sales funnel. If you've seen anything from our videos or anything like that, we were on a vacation in Bali and we drew up basically this idea, this vision, because our vision was for the brand new person to make money, right? So we thought about it. We're like, how can that actually happen? Well, basically what would have to happen for a brand new person to make money is that there couldn't be a learning curve. There couldn't be training wherein you have to learn how to do a headline, because that leaves margin for error, right? You might not write the right headline and therefore your conversions aren't good. And then you don't make money and then you say, oh, this thing doesn't work, and you throw your hands up. We didn't want that to happen. We wanted something wherein if we brought people into it and we told them exactly what to do, it was basically foolproof. So the only way to do that, right, was for us to be able to create the funnel and for us to be able to provide the traffic resources to our members, to our people. And the traffic resources had to convert so well that anybody could come in, send traffic through our very own resources, the same ones that Jordan and I use, that we've literally used to sponsor well over 1,000 people just in the past 3 months inside of the Freedom Fighters Network. If they could just literally use our same funnel and use our same traffic, then they could get the same results that we were getting, right? That's the really exciting thing, and that's what we set out to do. Now, I'll tell you, it wasn't something where we just came up with this idea and boom, we were just like this overnight success, although it is what it looks like, and I'll explain why it looked like that here in just a moment, because the way that we actually brought this thing to market is pretty exciting. It's different than anything that's ever been done. It's different than anything that's ever been done before. And I'll tell you why. you know, every time a company launches, it goes through a specific process. There's typically a big long pre-launch wherein all of the leaders are messaging their teams, mailing their list, telling all their leads, hey, this new awesome company is up and rising and it's coming, and you should get in on this thing. And why do they mail their list and their leads and their team members? Well, because their friend is the owner of the other company, right? Jordan and I had lots of friends that were leaders, and we could have gone to a bunch of different 6- and 7-figure earners and said, hey, we have this brilliant idea, go and mail your list, go and mail your team members, get everybody in on this thing because this thing is gonna work. Well, the bottom line is this, you know, we didn't know if it was gonna work. In fact, we actually flopped 5 marketing funnels, flopped 5 marketing funnels before we actually launched the Freedom Fighters Network. We flopped. I mean, literally, the word I keep saying flopped, but the word flop does not even begin to describe. I mean, we lost tens of thousands of dollars in various different things because we didn't have the right components together. And so when we finally got the right components together, we didn't actually know for sure that we had the right components together. And so rather than tell everybody about it and tell all of our marketing friends and all of our 6- and 7-figure earner friends and all of these different people that could have easily gone and launched the company basically for us without us having to do it, what we wanted to do is something different, because that doesn't really prove anything, does it? Right? If I give a marketing friend of mine that's already a 7-figure earner a funnel and they mail their list of people that have already bought stuff from them and already believe them and already trust them, that doesn't mean that my funnel converts, does it? It doesn't mean that the new person can come in and make money, does it? This is why there's been this discrepancy, guys, because there's never been another company that's ever launched like we launched. So how did we launch? How did we actually do things differently? How did we prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that anybody can actually make money in this thing? What we did was we didn't tell anybody about it. We had teams in our last company that we could have mailed and told them about. We didn't. This is what we did. We literally kept it a secret. We launched it to cold traffic. Now I'm gonna backtrack here for just a moment so that you guys understand, you know, I don't know if you've been in this industry for a day, a week, a month, or 10 years. So let me explain what traffic is. Traffic is a website visitor, essentially, right? And there's warm traffic and cold traffic. Warm traffic is basically the advanced marketing skills. It's Facebook marketing. It's people that are already kind of warmed up to you before they go through the sales process. Therefore, they have a higher probability of actually buying something. The reason why warm traffic converts well, though, for the people that do it well, is because it does require advanced marketing skills. Cold traffic, on the other hand, is something that can be bought in literally a lot of bulk. Like we can get literally hundreds of thousands of clicks per week with our traffic sources. And the bottom line is this: if you can get the same traffic that we're getting, right, then you're going to be able to get the same conversions that we're getting. So rather than me and Jordan sending our funnel out to all of the people that already were ready to buy from us, what we did was we sent it out to cold traffic, people that had never heard of us before. They didn't know who we were. We didn't have any credibility with them at all. And what happened was this: just based on the vision, not based off of any numbers, because we didn't have any numbers in the beginning. This is the other thing we didn't do. You know, so many different systems out there. They'll say things like, you could get these numbers, or the conversions could be these, or something like that, right? We didn't want to do that. So the whole funnel is basically based on our vision of helping the new person succeed. And from there, we launched the funnel to cold traffic. And what happened was, within literally the first 60 hours, we got 188 people into the company from cold traffic. We then took that, we showed our team, we showed, we just placed ads in warm traffic, and from there grew the company with you guys' help, some of you that are on this Hangout right now, to literally 10,000 members inside of our first 3 weeks. We grew to 20,000 members inside of our first couple of months. And that was with a ton of bumps and bruises. You know, those of you guys who have been here since day one know that this was not the easiest ride. And the reason it wasn't the easiest ride, from 0 to 20-something thousand members in a couple of months, it's because no other company has ever done that. We weren't prepared for the growth. Nobody was prepared for the growth. We're now prepared to take it to the moon because we have everything we needed in place. You know, when we originally launched the Freedom Fighters Network, we were launching it for our teams. We wanted to make sure it worked with cold traffic so that our teams in a previous company that we were in could use the funnel and buy cold traffic, from the same sources that we get it from. So even though we were launching it to cold traffic, we were launching it basically for our team originally. And we had no idea that it was going to get as big as it got. We really had no idea that we were going to help so many different people from all around the world. And I cannot even begin to describe to you how gratifying it is to know that that there's actually something out there that's really helping people. You know, I like for the longest time, I've been trying to help people earn money on the internet, and it's been majorly frustrating for a very long time now that there hasn't been something in place where the average person can succeed. And I can honestly say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, because there's literally new people, hundreds and thousands of new people inside of the Freedom Fighters Network that are succeeding. I'll introduce you guys to those people on a different Hangout. We're gonna have some of the people out today actually, but I wanted to actually keep this Hangout a little bit shorter because Jordan's really not doing too well over in the other room, and we really do need to get to the chiropractor, but I wanted to make sure that we get you guys these updates. This is, if you guys were around for the beginning of the Freedom Fighters Network launch, you saw that we literally came out of the woodwork. Why? Because we launched to cold traffic, and then we told everybody. We launched to cold traffic, and then we're like, hey, this is our results, this is what works, and you can go get traffic from our same sources, so we know that it works, right? If you saw what happened then, all I can tell you is what's about to happen over the course of the next few days is going to be so much bigger than the initial launch of the Freedom Fighters Network. And the reason why it's going to be so much bigger is because we're going to literally lay out a way for anybody from any walk of life. Doesn't matter if you have marketing experience, doesn't matter about anything. You're not only just going to be able to earn small commissions on the front end, we're going to show you how to earn way bigger commissions on the back end. You're going to be able to earn between $400 and $3,298 on the back end from sales that Jordan and I make for you. See, this is the other part of the vision, you know. A lot of people actually, up until this point when we've been talking about the higher level commissions, a lot of people thought that we launched the Freedom Fighters Network so that you guys could earn $25 commissions, because the bottom line is this: it is really easy to earn $25 commissions in the Freedom Fighters Network. You literally come in, you go through our 5 steps, and by the time you're done with the 5 steps, you're already marketing. It takes less than 45 minutes, and when people come and they click on your link and they decide to get started, guess what? You get 25 bucks. You get 25 bucks. As long as they pay the $47. Obviously, if they just do the free trial, then we don't pay 25 bucks. But the way that it works is there's a 7-day free trial. After the 7 days, after they've already had an opportunity to start making money, which if they went through the steps when they first joined, they're going to be making money. They're going to be referring people within the first 7 days. We actually have a guarantee, like literally an actual guarantee, that if you get started, you go through the steps, you generate leads, and you don't make money in your first 30 days, we will pay you $150 out of our own pocket. It's not because we like giving away $150. It's because we know the conversion numbers. You know, this is the other thing in marketing. A lot of people think, and I actually saw somebody comment in the Hangout stream a few Hangouts ago, and they said something about, you know, I'm not very lucky. This is the thing about it. You don't have to be lucky because if you have a funnel and you have traffic and you have people that are already anxious and willing to know about how to earn money on the internet, and you're not having to call, you know, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, and your sister and try and pitch them on something they don't want. If you already have a bunch of people that want to buy from you, that we literally give you, then what, like there is no reason that you can't actually do this. And there's also no reason that you can't earn the higher level commissions, because our vision was this. It wasn't for you guys to earn $25 commissions, although those are fun, and especially your first one, when you guys get that very first money dance email, it's the most exciting thing ever. And if you haven't actually joined our Facebook group yet, you definitely want to do that, even if you're not a member, just so you can kind of get acquainted with our community and see really what's going on. Because what's happening is people get money dance emails, and it's a little cartoon of me and Jordan, fun thing that we created on what is that, Bitstrips. We created on Bitstrips, and it's kind of gone viral around the internet for the reason that people are getting these money dance emails, which means that they earned a commission. But here again, that's not why we started this. The reason why we started is so you guys can earn higher level commissions. The reason why we started the Freedom Fighters Network was because we wanted a way for people to actually have enough income coming in from the internet to be able to quit their jobs, stay home with their family, and just have freedom. You know, it's the Freedom Fighters Network. We're all about freedom here. We want everybody here to be free, and we know that freedom does not happen, at least very rarely it happens, on smaller commissions, on the $25 commissions. And this is another myth. You know, I was actually talking to Kylie Madden the other day, and I was talking to her about kind of a big myth in the industry. You know, a lot of people think, and I think this really goes back to, you know, the days of Amway and, you know, the different like older MLM companies out there that have basically created this illusion that the big money is made from, you know, getting a team in the tens of thousands and everybody sticking and everybody, you know, just continuing to pay their auto ship month in, month out. And the bottom line is this, you know, I've been in the industry for almost 6 years now. I struggled through 4.5 of them, and I've been at the top of the industry since that 4.5-year mark. And that being said, myself, as well as literally any of my friends, there's maybe a couple of people I know, maybe a couple of people. Like I'm thinking there must be more than one. That's why I'm saying maybe a couple, but there's really only one that I can think of off the top of my head that has really enough residual income to make up that lifestyle type income. So where does the money really come from? If the money doesn't come from having a team in the tens of thousands, I just lost my, sorry guys, give me just a second. There we go. I have an outline here too. I'm trying to follow as much as I can here. So where does the money come from? If the money doesn't come from the $25 commissions, and you might be wondering, you know, if you've been a member of the Freedom Fighters now, you're like, I can't figure out, I'm not in profit yet. Well, the money is not supposed to come from the front end. The money comes from the back end. Some of you guys remember, if you haven't already seen our sales video, you should definitely check it out, because we actually show you 2 different strategies that you can utilize inside of the Freedom Fighters Network in our sales video, which is something else that I think is really cool that we actually did that nobody else really does. Everybody else just sits there and tries to pitch you. We actually show you stuff in the sales video. But in the sales video, you guys will see that I had a $63,000 month. And that was, I believe it was April, and that was in the last thing. It was from promoting stuff online, basically, right? And a lot of people would go and make the assumption, because there's always all this talk about residual income and things of that nature, a lot of people would go and make the assumption that a lot of that was residual. Most of that, I mean, literally like less than $1,500 of that was actually residual, guys. That's the truth. The money in this industry is made from earning higher level commissions. And this is the other truth. You don't need a residual income if you have a funnel that converts from the front end into higher level back end sales, and all you need to do is send traffic. You can earn like what I would call a residual income just by sending more traffic. You know, if you earn a commission, it's $400, and it's $400 one time, and it's not, you know, a recurring monthly residual. If you earn a $400 one-time commission, and say you put in, you know, $100 in traffic or $200 in traffic to earn that $400, well, you're in the black. You can simply send the same traffic over and over and over again and cycle it through, and you basically just can choose how many times you want to earn $400 on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. It really, really is that simple. Everybody overcomplicates this industry. In my personal opinion anyway, I just feel like, you know, like I said, I figured that when I first got started, I was just slow, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna figure this out. I've been slow in things in the past. You know, I was in gymnastics for 13 years, and my coach, when I got started, I had like 2 left feet. I was awful, but I was literally like the second best in the nation by the time I was done 13 years later. It's because when I decide to start something, I stick with it. And so I kind of figured when I got started on the internet that it was the case of me being slow. What I came to find out, you know, after 4.5 years of struggle and then being able to build a team in the thousands, is that shit, everybody struggles. Like, this is not just me, and it doesn't matter if I show people exactly what I'm doing. They can't duplicate it because it's complicated. There's a margin for error. They've got to go create headlines. They've got to go create different things. They've got to go do stuff. With our system, it's not the case of that. With our system, you come in, you go through 5 steps, you send our very own traffic to our very own funnel that we already know converts. Guys, literally 1.5% to 2% of the people that click on our lead capture page, not that opt in, but that click on our lead capture page, decide to buy. That is big. If you've been in marketing, if you've been around the block any times before, you realize that literally the average conversions in this industry, it's 1% of the leads, not 1% of the people that land on the site. Big difference. Of the leads, 11.5% validate their card. 11.5%, guys. That's how well this thing converts. And why does it convert? Well, because it's working for people. The reason why other stuff doesn't convert is because it doesn't work for people. People get started and then they quit because it doesn't work. With this, people stick with it. If people go through those 5 steps, they're sticking. This is the other thing we came to find out, is that if we can show you how to make money in the next 7 days online, you're probably gonna trust me when I say, hey, you need to learn this advanced marketing skill, and it's gonna take you a couple months to learn, but it's gonna take your income from a couple thousand a month to 20,000 a month. If I showed you how to make your first $100 in the next 7 days, you will stick around long enough to actually learn the skills necessary, because there are skills necessary. I'm not gonna sit here and say, you can go make 100,000 a month without knowing anything. No, you can't. All right, you do have to know stuff. You need to be able to increase your marketing knowledge and your expertise, and really just kind of use this as a tool. There's skills that you need to learn, guys, but there's not skills that you need to learn to earn your first money online. And that's really the other disconnect. In the last company that I was in, I came in during pre-launch, and I had marketing knowledge. I was not making money though. All right, I was in another company. I was a top earner, right? A top earner, but I was actually losing about $1,000 a month in my marketing. And I'll tell you why that is, right? Because it really goes back to the whole fallacy of, this myth of residual income. Yes, residual income exists. Yes, in programs like the Freedom Fighters Network, where there's actually retention because people are actually making money, yes, you can make a residual income, but the big money is still made, even in the Freedom Fighters Network, even in a program where people stick because they're making money, the big money is still made on the back end. I promise you guys this, all right? See, going back to, what is this, like four years ago or something like that, 3 years ago? And whenever I was 4.5 years ago, when I first started having success, what happened was I went from a program where I was earning $15 a month residual, right? And it didn't really have a back end. Like, it had a back end, but I had to do all of the selling, and I didn't know how to sell back then. And so I was basically not making back end sales like at all. And I kind of came to like the realization, like after, very few months of even marketing this thing, that like I actually said, I had decided that I didn't want to learn how to sell at the time. I was like, I'm just going to make the front end residual income. Not even worry about the back end. And I know that a lot of people here are maybe thinking that too, and it's a big mistake. But the difference here is that we're actually going to sell the back end for you. I didn't have somebody selling the back end for me. I had to actually get on the phone with my prospects, which was extremely scary for me back then. And I had to, like hard sell them into stuff, and it hardly ever worked. And so the bottom line was this: I was making like $15 a month residual per person, and I was making like $1,000 a month. Only I was spending like $2,000 a month to make the $1,000 a month. So I was actually still losing $1,000 a month. Then what happened was this paradigm shift. This company came out that did something that no other company had ever done before, and everybody sort of flocked to it. I knew the owners of the company before the company launched. I was in on the company in pre-launch, and even though I was sponsoring a lot of people into this other company that I was in, I was still not making any money, but I did have a marketing list. I had, some marketing knowledge and expertise. I was getting the front end conversions. I figured that part out. I just couldn't get the back end conversions, right? And so when this thing came out, I decided to get started in it during pre-launch, during a time where everyone was flocking to it. And because of that, I was able to take my income from losing $1,000 a month to earning like $10,000 or $12,000. Actually, no, I can tell you the exact number because I actually use this in my marketing. It was $9,347, right, to the letter, in 6 weeks. I earned that amount in 6 weeks of marketing this company in profit, right? Everybody in this industry, it's funny, they always talk about like their gross numbers. Like, it's such bullshit. Like, if you're making $1,000 a month, but you're spending $3,000 a month, like, dude, you're actually losing $2,000 a month there. So like the numbers that I always talk about are actually my net numbers, and I earned $9,347 inside of my first 6 weeks. Here's what that did, and I'm going to tell you, there's a really specific reason I'm telling you this story right now, guys. It's like really, really important for you to really pay attention to this, because understand this, okay? There's a lot of people in the Freedom Fighters Network right now that have earned, $25, a couple $100, a few $1,000s, things of that nature. And you're thinking, I'm so far away from earning $10,000 a month. I'm so far away from earning $20,000 a month. You're not. You are literally right around the corner, because we are about to unleash something really, really, really cool wherein you guys can earn the higher level commission. So what happened was I went from a company wherein I didn't have a back end, essentially, unless I sold it, which I didn't want to do. So I was essentially just depending on the front end. And I went into a company wherein in the beginning, there was a front end and a back end, and people were just buying it right and left. And I created a story. Here's what's important about creating a story. See, people want to join somebody that's on their way, right? Would you want to join somebody if you thought that they had never made a penny online before? Right? This is why MLM doesn't work, because your sister calls you up and she's like, hey, join this cool thing. You can make a bunch of money. And what's your first question? How much have you made? Right? I remember getting that question so often back then when I was in MLM. But going back to why you guys need to create a story, it's so important. With the Freedom Fighters Network, we created a foolproof process wherein it didn't matter what kind of success you had in the past, if you had experience or not, you could come in and start making money immediately, right? What does that do? It allows you to use that in your marketing, because there's really a pretty simple process for making money on the internet. It's go get a result and then market your result. That's basically it. How many marketing lists are you guys on where basically the only thing that people ever send you is, look how much money I made while I was at the beach today. Isn't this cool? Look how much money I made while I was having ice cream with my kids the other day. Isn't this cool? Join this thing here, join it here, join it here, join it here, right? They're doing that because that works, guys. And it's really simple to do here in the Freedom Fighters Network. Now, in the last company that I was in, things got watered down. It worked in the beginning. It didn't work after that. And the bottom line was this: when my team members would come in, they didn't have a way of actually creating a story. The reason why I was still able to get sales all the way after everything stopped converting for everybody, the reason I could still get sales is because I had a story. I went out and created like hundreds of videos, right? And if you're sitting there like, I don't want to create a video, you don't have to create videos. There's a lot of different marketing strategies you can do. You can just send our traffic. It works like really well. That's what we use, right? I had a story. I had hundreds of videos out there on the internet, right? And they all said one thing: how I made $9,347 in this company in my first 6 weeks. Learn how I did it, click here, right? And it would go to the lead capture page. Everybody here has the opportunity to have that kind of story, only your story can be a whole lot bigger, because I was only able to earn up to $500 commissions in that company. You guys here, everyone here on this Hangout, should you decide to get started in the Freedom Fighters Network, which I highly recommend you do, because you're not going to learn how to earn between $400 and $32.98 unless you are a member. We're only unveiling this to active members, so you can actually become a member now by clicking on the link directly below this video. It's the big green button that says get started now. You'll be able to get started for your 7-day free trial. Be sure to go through those 5 steps so you're not confused, because over the course of the next few days, we are going to be unleashing something to our members only, wherein we're going to show you how to earn between $400 and $32.98 this week online. And we're going to show it to you without you having to get on the phone, without you having to sell anything. See, the really cool thing about having a system in place, right, is that as long as you're positioned on the back end, as long as you're positioned, which we're going to show you how to do here over the course of the next few days, as long as you're positioned on the back end, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, right? Because you can send traffic. Somebody comes through. So picture this process, right? I should actually get, I've been meaning to go get one of those things at Best Buy where you can like draw, because I really want to draw this out for you guys, right? So that you guys can see how simple this actually is. I think I'm actually going to maybe go get that after we get back from the chiropractor this afternoon, so that I can draw this up for you guys on the next Hangout. But this is basically the process. Somebody comes in as a free trial. They get started. They learn how to make money in the course of 5 steps. It takes less than 45 minutes to go through. They realize it's easy. So what do? They stick with it. They pay the $47 7 days later. That's a monthly residual that we pay you a $25 monthly recurring commission on. And oh, by the way, when you have team members that succeed, you get $5 per month per person that they bring in as well. But then what happens? What's about to happen is we're going to have a higher level product line wherein you can earn anywhere between $400 and $3,298. The really cool thing about this is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your skill sets, because people are going to come through this process anyway. And it's really up to you whether or not you're positioned to earn those higher level commissions, whether you're positioned to earn $400 commissions, only $25 commissions, or $3,298 commissions. It's really up to you how you're positioned, because you're going to go through this process. Your people are going to go through this process. And the interesting thing is whether or not you decide to position yourself for the higher level product line, your people are going to go through the same process. They're going to decide to get positioned, because they're going to see that not only, the really cool thing about this, and I'm not going to go over the products here today, but the really cool thing about this is it's not just like a product line that we just like randomly created so that you guys can earn high level commissions. This is a really, really, really cool product that even people that aren't marketers are going to want it. Even people that have no desire whatsoever to earn money from home, which I actually can't imagine why anybody would not want to earn money from home and instead want to go to a job. But if you don't want to earn money from home, you're still going to want this product. That's the really, really cool thing about it. So you guys are going to be selling something on the back end. You're not going to be selling it. Jordan and I are going to be selling it. But you're going to be offering something, so to speak, on the back end that you can feel really good about, because you're not just like, charging some high price for some random product just to earn a high level commission on it. It's the other thing that I've been really sick of in this industry is just like randomly priced products that are tens of thousands of dollars for really no other reason than to make money off of them. We wanted to create something really cool. It took us literally months to put this together, and we're actually going to be launching it tomorrow. If you were on a Hangout a couple of days ago, you heard that we were going to be launching it tomorrow, pre-launching it tomorrow. And I'm going to explain what that process is here in just a moment. But first, I do want to update you on one quick thing, and that is this. Jordan and I don't live in Australia yet. We're going to be moving to Australia here over the course of the next few months. Actually, a few weeks, a few months. Oh my gosh, we're going to be there literally before Christmas. We're going to be there. But that being said, we're not familiar with the holidays in Australia. And we had no idea that I think there's like a World Cup thing or something like that going on. And essentially the whole freaking country is shut down from Monday to Wednesday this week, which tomorrow is Monday in Australia. Because they're on the other side of the world, at least they are for us US folk. So the bottom line is this: we plan on pre-launching this thing tomorrow, and I'll get into how we're going to do that here in just a moment. We plan on pre-launching this thing tomorrow, but we need our tech team, which is in Australia, we need them there for this pre-launch. Why? Because there's literally going to be like hundreds of thousands of dollars being processed in our accounts. We need to make sure that they're there. You can't go and launch something that's going to be so big and go so far and spread so wide and not have a tech team there, in case a server crashes, goodness forbid, or anything like that. We needed to make sure they were there. So apologies. We had no idea that the freaking country of Australia is literally shut down for, I think, their World Cup or something, from Monday to Wednesday this week, which includes Sunday, which is tomorrow, over here on the US side. So what we're going to actually do, and we'll give you a specific time of the launch this week. I'm not going to actually say it yet today, but what we're going to do is actually postpone the pre-launch until next Sunday. So it's going to be a week from tomorrow, which I'm going to pull up my calendar here and tell you guys the exact date. It's going to be November the 9th. So tomorrow is November 2nd. It's going to be November 9th that we're going to be going into pre-launch. And here's what's going to happen in pre-launch, and really why it's so important that you get positioned, and really why it's so important that you absolutely get your Freedom Fighters Network membership in place before next Sunday. You're not going to be able to participate in this pre-launch. Remember, I told you the reason why I was so successful in my last company is because I was there during pre-launch. I was there when literally thousands of people were flocking to this thing. Now, not to say thousands of people aren't going to be flocking to this thing after the pre-launch. They are. Something about me and Jordan that's a little bit different than pretty much any other company owner out there is we're marketers first. We were always marketers before we were company owners. In fact, we didn't have any aspirations to actually become company owners ever. We sort of just fell into this role because we were sick of watching stuff not work, and we were sick of watching our people fail, right? We were just sick of it. That being said, we created something that works, guys. There's actually something that works. And going into next Sunday, If you guys are a member of the Freedom Fighters Network, what we're going to do is any active members of the Freedom Fighters Network, we're going to unveil this launch, we're going to unveil the product line. You're going to have the opportunity to be in something and be a part of something that nobody knows about yet. Literally nobody knows about it. That is so, 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 so crucial, guys. This is going to be all over the internet. It's going to be literally all over Facebook. And if you're in the Freedom Fighters Network and you're a part of this launch, people on Facebook that are going to be looking to join this thing can be joining you. That is so powerful. They're going to be joining anyway. I promise you, I guarantee you, when people see the amount of money that's about to be made, you know, I'm really excited for certain leaders of ours. I know a certain leader I have in mind, and I'm sure he's on this Hangout, and you know who you are. You're going to earn, you know, $50,000 to $70,000 probably within the first couple of days of launch, which is amazing. That's absolutely incredible. You know, that's more money than I've actually made in a week as an affiliate of anything ever. One of our affiliates is going to make, and that's really exciting to me. But I'll tell you what's more exciting. What's more exciting is watching somebody that's brand new earn their very first $400. Watching somebody that's struggled on the internet for years and years and years earn their a $3,298 commission. Guys, that's a life-changing amount of money. If you were to earn an extra $3,298 every single month, most people would be able to quit their job with that level of money. Most people, that would be literally the difference between them waking up to an alarm clock every day, having to show up at a job that they hate, to being able to stay home, being able to go on more vacations. This is the kind of things that's like people miss out on in their life. You know, I don't want you guys to look back on your life and think, oh gosh, I wish I would have done something. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have had the time to spend with my kids. I wish I would have had the time to go on more vacations, because I'm so much about freedom. You know, I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm just, it's so, so important to me that you guys actually grasp this concept of what's actually about to happen. And it's really, really important to me that you guys position yourself by getting involved in the Freedom Fighters Network, for the reason that you will not be able to participate in this pre-launch unless you are an active member. And the bottom line is this, you know, the next 90 days, they're gonna happen either way. They're gonna happen, you know, whether you decide to get started or whether you don't decide to get started. But if you do decide to get started, the next 90 days can look very different for you. If you don't decide to get started, the next 90 days aren't going to change, right? If you don't change something that you're doing, you're going to continue to get the same result. And people wonder why, you know, they're stuck in the same rut. They're stuck in the same situation time after time after time. It's because they're not changing. You've got to make a change. If you want something different to happen in your life, you need to make a change. Now is the time. You are literally in the best position ever. You being on this Hangout right now, whether or not you're a member of the Freedom Fighters Network yet, because we have not actually launched our top tier program. We're launching that once again a week from tomorrow. And you're going to be able to participate in that launch as long as you're an active member of the Freedom Fighters Network, which you can do right now by going ahead and clicking on the button down below this video. Get started, go through those 5 steps, and get positioned, guys. Get positioned. And we're going to be doing Hangouts actually all week this week. You guys are going to be able to market the heck out of those Hangouts. You're going to be able to get team members in this week that will get started in the top tier. You're going to be able to earn money if you follow my lead. Just follow my lead, guys. You know, it's one of those things. When I first got started in this industry, I did exactly what I was told, and I didn't make money. So frustrating, right? So frustrating to come in and literally do exactly the things that you're told to do and then not make money. You don't have to think outside the box here, at least not in the beginning, right? You don't have to think outside the box. You do have to think outside the box to go on and earn, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in this industry. Absolutely, you do. And the cool thing about the Freedom Fighters Network is we don't charge anything extra for that training. You guys get access to higher level marketing training. In fact, you know, we've got something in the Freedom Fighters Network called the Freedom League. It's really, really cool. You know, and every other thing I've ever been in, you know, there's been like lots of different training available and things. But it's kind of gotten not only just me in the beginning, but also my team members that I would bring into the different things over the years. It's gotten people on like information overload. See, you don't need to know higher level marketing skills until you need to know higher level marketing skills. If you can make money without them, wouldn't you rather make money first and then learn the higher level marketing skills later? Well, we actually have it structured in a way wherein you can't learn the higher level marketing skills first, because we don't allow you to. We have a Freedom League wherein you have to produce in order to be a member. And once you produce, once you get 5 members in your first 2 weeks or 25 members in all time, you're allowed into an elite group called the Freedom League, wherein we teach you higher level marketing skills, mindset, different things that you need in order to become a leader, because there's a difference between a marketer and a leader. And you don't even have to become a leader if you don't want to, right? You can go out and you can make a lot of money in this industry without being a leader. You can, absolutely. But those of you who want to go out and really impact lives and change lives, you know, Jordan and I have a really, really big, huge vision of changing not just like a few people's lives, but really changing a chunk of the world. And we need your help for that. You here can help us spread this vision around the world, create freedom in people's lives, show people they don't have to be working a stupid job if they don't want to. Now, if you love your job, cool, that's awesome. I've never actually had a job, to be honest. I worked in corporate. I had a job for a year. It was when I was 20, and so I kind of don't count it because I wasn't even old enough to drink when I had a job. But that being said, you know, I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that don't like your job. You don't like your current situation. You don't like having to wake up to an alarm clock every day. And the bottom line is you don't have to, because we're going to show you a way where you can literally stay home, right? It's a very, very short span of time to go from 0 to 10,000 a month when you're earning the higher level commissions. What happened when I went from, you know, making $15 a month in a previous company that I was in to joining a company where I was only able to earn $500 commissions in that company, but I made almost $10,000 in my first 6 weeks. I went from losing $1,000 a month to earning almost $10,000 in my first 6 weeks. Why? Because I could earn higher level commissions. I could earn $500 for every person that I brought in. It was a big deal. I could get people in the front door, right? I've always been good at the front end conversions. I've always created funnels that are around front end conversions. As you guys can see, the Freedom Fighters Network converts better than anything else out there. And it's funny, you know, I'm going to share one more story with you guys. I'm actually going to pop off here because we need to actually head over to the chiropractor for Jordan's appointment here in 20 minutes. But I'm going to share one other story with you guys. Actually, first, let me grab a drink of water. I'm like so dry mouth right now. And now I lost my train of thought. Shit. Let me check for questions, guys. And then if I remember that story, I will tell you guys. But the bottom line is this. Go ahead and click the link below this video. Get started in the Freedom Fighters Network. It's important that you get started before this pre-launch. It's very, very important. The people that get started in the pre-launch are not only going to be able to earn money above and beyond what they're going to be able to earn later, they're also going to be able to save 33% off of the normal price. That is big. We want to allow our members to start earning these higher level commissions without having to pay the retail price, because there's people that have been with us since the very beginning. The cool thing is if you're getting started today, you get the same benefits as the people that have been with us since day one, because you can still be a founding member of the Freedom Fighters Network. Anyone that gets started before this coming Sunday, not this coming Sunday as in tomorrow, but the following Sunday as in a week from tomorrow, anyone that gets started before that Sunday and participates in this pre-launch is going to be a founding member. There's going to be very amazing benefits to being a founding member that Jordan and I came up with the other night. We were going to actually share those on this Hangout, guys. The reason that we're not is because Jordan really wants to be a part of that announcement. And obviously I'm not going to just go share it when he wants to be a part of the announcement. So apologies. You know, sorry about the cliffhanger. You're going to have to wait just a couple of days here until he's feeling better. Actually, hopefully he's feeling better this afternoon, because I think the chiropractor should be able to snap him back into place there. But we're going to share some really, really exciting things. There's going to be some major benefits to being a founding member of the Freedom Fighters Network, and you still have the opportunity to do that. So don't lose your chance. Go ahead and click the button down below this video. I'm going to check quick for questions, and then I don't remember my story that I was going to tell you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pop off, and oh, the mouse is over here. Give me just a moment, guys. If anyone have any questions, go ahead and post in the comments. Awesome. I'm on Jordan's computer if you're wondering why he's liking things, guys. Somebody says, it's all true, I already made money just by using the system. It's that simple. You know, I remember my story, woohoo. So Michael, thank you for saying that, because I remember my story. You guys don't have to think outside the box. In other things, you have to think outside the box. You get started and it's like everything that you're told to do doesn't work. Jordan and I make sure that everything that's in the back office is working. There's training back there that you can access even before you're in the Freedom League, right? That's a higher level advanced marketing training. We've got some amazing stuff from some of our incredible leaders that are getting results. But, you know, I remember getting started in something. This was like the first thing that I was in. This is how I was losing money. Besides the fact that I was only earning like $15 per month commissions in the thing that I was in. The other reason I was losing money is because what happened was when I got started, I went through a training that I didn't realize was outdated. Because if you're new, right, how would you know if something is outdated or not? What I came to find out, and those of you guys that are marketers here, you guys know that the internet changes literally like by the day. You know, I had a strategy last year that I was getting 150 leads a day from, and it shut off, literally shut off. Like I lost my YouTube channels, like everything changed in a moment, in an instant. Everything can change on the internet, and it's very, very frustrating when you don't know what's outdated and what's not, because you're brand new, right? You come into something and you go through training and you think that you're, you know, learning something that's cutting edge because it's new to you, right? I remember going through a training. I did exactly what I was told to do. I went and spent $700 on info products, not info products, but just products to do this strategy that I was supposed to be doing, that this one leader was doing. And then I spent another like $700 or $800 per month in different subscriptions to actually get the strategy off the ground. And come to find out, after like 8 solid months of implementing the strategy, doing exactly what I was told to do, I didn't get any results. How frustrating is that? How frustrating is that? You know, most people do something for like a few days and then complain that they didn't get results. I did it for 8 months. I was out tens of thousands of dollars and I didn't have any results to speak of. Why? Because the strategy is outdated. Anything that you guys find inside of the Freedom Fighters Network is up to date. It's absolutely up to date. And the reason it's up to date is because we delete things out of our back office when they stop working. We change our funnels when conversions go down. We're constantly testing and tweaking things. Guys, like I said, we're marketers first. Jordan and I never even had ambitions to be company owners. We're marketers first, and we're always looking at our conversions. We're always looking at our traffic sources. We're always making sure that things work for you. Why? Because it was really freaking frustrating for he and I both, and every other thing that we've been in, to be given outdated crap that doesn't work, to be given funnels that don't convert, to learn a strategy only to find out the strategy doesn't work with the funnel because the funnel's watered down. This is not something you guys are going to run into here. It's not something that you're ever going to run into here, no matter how old or new the Freedom Fighters Network is, because we're always going to be coming out with new things so that you guys actually have something that works. You guys actually have something that works. Everybody here has an incredible, incredible opportunity. Guys, this is like a paradigm shift. What happened a few years back when I got started in that company at the time was a paradigm shift. This here is a paradigm shift. Why? There's never been a company out there where you didn't have to learn marketing to make money. There's never, ever, ever been a company where you did not have to have any skill sets to make money. We created it. We founded it. And it's here for you. The only thing you need to do is get started. The only thing you need to do is just take action. It really is that simple, guys. I'm going around in circles here because I just want to reiterate, you know, over and over again to you guys, it really is that simple, and success is yours. You just have to take action for it, right? So I'm gonna just check the comment stream here, see if there's any questions, and then I'm gonna pop off and get Jordan over to the chiropractor. Awesome, awesome, guys. Thank you, thank you. Somebody said they're joining us because of trust. Eric Flanagan, you're awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be back rubs all day for Jordan, Eric. Cool, cool. Cool, awesome, awesome, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off here. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Get ready this week, guys. Get started. We're gonna be doing Hangouts all week to prepare for this pre-launch. You're gonna be able to invite all of your leads to these Hangouts. You're gonna be able to get traffic ahead of time by getting it inside of our back office. We've got it there. It's in step 4, I believe. And there's a free marketing strategy that you can use in step 5. But the biggest advice I could give you, outside of obviously getting started, because clearly that would be the first step, is make sure you market this week. When we send out emails, right, pay attention to those emails. Send those emails out to your leads. Get a team under your belt. Get a team under your belt, because that is how you're going to be able to make money this coming Sunday, a week from tomorrow, when we unveil this thing, it's going to be huge. This is the next paradigm shift. You are here for it. You literally are in the same position, only better, because you're actually going to be able to earn higher level commissions and have a process that actually does all the selling. I didn't have that a few years ago, right? When I got started in this thing. You guys have that. You guys have that. This is a paradigm shift. There's going to be like literally hundreds of thousands of people getting started in this thing. They may as well be joining you. The only way that can happen is if you get started first. So go ahead and do that now, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.